Happy Monday evening and welcome to the emotions room. Sorry, it's not the usual setup. I've had to do this on my mobile, in the car. We've gone ghetto, we've gone old school. I couldn't make it back home, but these guys have been patient enough to be able to do the show with me. Listen, I'm in a good mood. Manchester United are in third place. I have not had a chance to talk about the game after Crystal Palace. Am I over the moon? Of course I am. Is results all that matters? I have to say it does, if I'm honest. But we're going to go through all of that. The next three games as well, being Newcastle, Villa, Bournemouth. If we win those three, you know what that means. That's the haircut trophy finally being achieved this year. Look, I'm happy. Carrick's basically got the job, hasn't he, lads? We're going to touch base on all of this stuff. But first and foremost, let's just talk about the game. Talk about how you guys feel. Were we good enough? Is it a Moments FC type of thing where our signings, our players are stepping up to the plate and just creating moments? Or did we deserve to win, you know? But first and foremost, how are you, Dan? How are you doing?
Yeah, all good, all good. Getting ready for this, really. Looking forward to having a chat about what's been
Yeah,
going on and about the
for
weekend. And
sure.
it's nice to still to be winning. So, yeah, I'm all good. Yourselves?
Yeah, I'm good. Alex, how are you?
Yeah, good mate. Loretta, I think it's been a couple of weeks since I've obviously we spoke, texting and that, but it's good to see you both. Great to chop this up and we're sat in third. I can't wait.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Look, first question, I'll throw it over to you, Dan. How do you feel about the game? Yeah, we're all happy. That's facts, right? I don't need to ask you that, right? We're all happy. But how do you feel about the game? If you just dissect it quickly, what was your
Yeah.
feelings of the game?
Yeah, I think first half, they'll do it in two halves. First half, not the best. Obviously, going 1-0 down. They deserved that goal. Bit of a mistake by Euro. And then second half, intensity gone up a little bit. I was sort of saying the same about the last few games, to be honest. I've not been enthralled by the gameplay or anything. I think still happy, obviously. We've got to win. We're in third. You can't knock that. But I do think, especially when you start thinking about what's going to happen in May in terms of new coach and everything, I just think the performances, I want to start to see a bit of a better performance now. So hopefully we can get a better performance in the next game. But I think overall, we'll probably get into the nitty gritty of stuff and what actually happened in that game. So I won't start touching on controversial decisions and stuff like that. But I think we probably didn't start playing well or better until that decision that led to the penalty. So I just think, and I think I was saying in my own stream, something that Alex said to me in a text about players coming on that seem to be like super subs to a certain extent. And it just seems like we've got teams full of individual players that are doing individual brilliance at the moment. That's carrying us through. So a bit of lucky decisions maybe, or decisions going on our way that don't often go our way. And then that individual brilliance is carrying us through at the moment. But lastly on that, I'm pleased to be third. I'll leave it there.
Yeah, for sure. Alex, tell to me, how do you feel? How
Yeah.
do you feel with the win? How did you feel about the performance?
I think, yeah, I mean, the last two I had excuses in my own head as to why they weren't very good. And I did think this was a big game performance-wise, which is obviously a little bit disappointing because now, but I think I've adjusted my expectations now where they dangled the carrot of how well they can play, apparently. Then you had West Ham, you had the 2-day rest. Okay, chalk it off. Good point in the end. Everton, that's probably one of the worst games I've seen United play in a long time, to be honest, especially at 1-0. We couldn't pass the ball 10 yards. Then I was like, right, you've got 5 days off. Palace playing Thursday. You better turn up and perform. They didn't. So now I'm like, okay, I think you mentioned it on the intro there, Dave. Now it's the efficiency thing for me. I think maybe the Arsenal City thing was probably, I don't want to say new manager bounce, but obviously we've not seen it for 3 games now. So maybe this is who we are. I think the team's got deficiencies. We agree with that. Couple of injuries coming in. I think I've just adjusted my expectation now. So I feel a little bit better, to be honest. I was really not happy after Monday. I thought that was shocking performance, to be honest. But after yesterday, a little bit better in the second half, like Dan said. But ultimately, maybe it's just what we're going to do for the next 10 games, get into Europe and have a good summer. So, yeah, I didn't think the performance was great. Dave, I don't know. What did you think?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I haven't had a chance to really reflect on it on YouTube, so to speak. Not that reflecting on YouTube is the be all and end all of it, but I ain't gonna lie, there's a lot of players in that team, to start with the negatives. There's a lot of players in that team that have passed their sell-by date when it comes to Manchester United. And I know this is harsh, and listen, straight up, we've gone from 15th to 3rd, right? 15th to 3rd. If someone had told me that, I would have bit your hand off, I would have bit your legs off. I would have maybe given up my foot for something like that. So I can't complain too much, but players like Dalot need to be moved on. Luke Shaw, bless him, he's held on this season. And to be fair, been fit the whole of the season, more or less, which is a shock, right? So I've got to give him credit for that. Our left back and our right back is just not good enough. Finally, a good cross got put into the box by Bruno, and SESKO scores a great header. But this is the sort of crosses we need from our left back, the sort of crosses we need from our right back. You know, I remember the days of Antonio Valencia on our right wing, whipping in crosses. They weren't quality crosses in the air, but they were good enough to cause problems in the box. People are not going to like this, and maybe people are going to be like, oh my God, I thought we were going to have a positive stream here, and we will. Mainu is not the answer for me. He's a good squad player. I don't think he's the staple of our midfield. He's just not good enough for me in that midfield. Too many times being ran through. That includes Casemiro. But that's the negatives out of the way, and I'm sorry to the viewers thinking, Jesus, David, what the hell, man? You're 3rd. You won the game. Look, the positives are Bruno Fernandes with another assist. Bruno Fernandes assisting Cunha, who, whether you like him or not, whether you think he plays well or not, the geezer has an impact on the football match. You know, he causes problems, whether it be winning a penalty, whether it be having 2 men marking him. Cunha has been a fantastic signing. Have we set the standards really high for him and thinking, look, you need to score more, you need to be less wasteful, you need to stop falling over sometimes? Look, I think he's fantastic. He causes nightmares for any defense. So Cunha, fantastic. And Boomer was quite quiet on the right. I was glad to see Ahmad benched. I know, Alex, you may come in a second and be like, we didn't look as good on the ball with Ahmad not playing. That's a valid point. I just think he needed to be benched. He almost scored when he came on. And maybe that's what you need sometimes, to bench some players so that when they come on, they try and prove themselves. That's what it's about. That's what having a squad's about. But I tell you what, to finish on a positive, SESKO, I mean, I'm not a big fan of his technical ability with the ball, right? But this one-touch finishing that he's doing right now is just exactly what we signed him for, exactly what the Premier League needs. A player that gets the ball, don't even think about taking a touch and trying to beat a player, gets a yard, bang, goal. Bang, goal. When was the last time we've seen a striker like this? And I'll have put my hands up. SESKO, what? All I wanted to see is this guy good in the air? I don't think he's good enough. Boom, header, bottom corner, wins us the game. Are we playing well? Listen, we're playing a hell of a lot better than we were under Ruben Amorim, and he should be absolutely ashamed watching this. Sorry, guys, I know I went on like crazy there. But I mean, Dan, what were your thoughts on some of the things I said there? Was I being too harsh, talking about Dalot, talking about Shaw, talking about Mainu, or can you see where I'm coming from?
No, I think with Dalot, I sometimes think I'm a bit harsh on him because I bring him up probably every time I do a video, but it's only because I think some of it is because I don't know what you guys think, but he looks silky. And when he's on the ball, he looks silky to a certain degree, but then he gets to the final third and then everything just falls to shit. Often he can't, I mean, against Palace just there, there were like 2 or 3 yard passes that he couldn't complete. It's like, what is going on here?
Yeah.
He dug out a couple of crosses that were decent, but the passing. So, and I was sort of saying before in my streams, it's like, when you're building up play, and obviously we're not the best at that. Obviously, we've had the Cunha, Bruno, Ahmad. We've had that happening here and there. But generally speaking, we're not the best at holding on to the ball and doing much with the ball. So when you do beat the press and you do progress into the final third, what you don't want is your right back that's gone into their space and evaded his defensive area to then do a shitty pass and then have to then run all the way back to defend, because then we get broke on. So that's the sort of thing I don't like about Dalot. And then Shaw, the same. I mean, sometimes I think I wish I could get onto United stand, because Ricky, oh my God,
I've missed it. What has he said?
It's every week. His love for Shaw is basically saying Shaw is technically better than Bruno, is way better than Bruno. He was saying that in the last game when Cunha did that switch and it ended with SESKO scoring that goal against Everton. He was giving Shaw all the credit for that. And it's like, oh, without Shaw, do you see the pass he did to Cunha? I was like, are you being serious? It's like,
agenda driven him, isn't he?
Yeah, I don't know what people see. His agenda's crazy. He absolutely hates Bruno. And fair enough, I feel like I've got an agenda against Dalot sometimes. But one thing I will say is if Dalot plays well, I'll say he plays well. If Dalot, like I said there, I think it were 2 or 3 good crosses I saw Dalot do in that game. But then I can't forgive his 2-yard passing, because it breaks down our attack. So, no, I don't think you're being harsh on Dalot. I don't think you're being harsh on Shaw. I think we need 2 new fullbacks. Because
I mean, Dorgu, we miss him, right? Sorry to cut you off. Dorgu was playing well since Carrick took over, right? He was, and we miss him. So maybe he's the answer.
Yeah.
Maybe he's the answer there. But I am just fed up with Dalot, right? Sure, listen, he's been a great servant. You know, listen, has he earned his wages? I don't know. I think I saw a stat where he's played less games than he. Sorry, you know what I'm trying to say here. He's been injured for more games than he's played since he's been for Man United. It's time to move on from there, and I'm sure you both agree. But Dalot is just someone he doesn't get into the Portugal national team in the first team. I just don't see how us being 3rd place in the league with Dalot as right back is sustainable, right? We need to move on from there. I'm not a huge fan of Ahmad. I swear I'd rather play him right back than Dalot. But just carry on, Dan. Sorry.
No, the only thing I'm going to finish off and say is that, like I said, again, I'm not expecting him to be like Hakimi, for example, or anybody like that. But we need somebody that can at least beat the man and put a cross in, because especially on the left-hand side where, and I know that's not Shaw's fault that we don't have a winger, but on the left-hand side where Cunha's going to come inside, that's exactly why we need Shaw to stop being timid, because I was saying the other day that it feels like Shaw still thinks he's playing left centre-back sometimes. He needs to go further forward, and he needs to create space. He needs to be an extra man in that final third as an option, even if it's not to pass to him, but just to be a nuisance.
I agree.
So it frees up more space, because we are struggling to break down low blocks, as you know. So we need as many players trying to do different things, whether it be 1-2s on the edge of the area, or whether it be just jink and beat your man and get a cross in, because that's what we're missing a little bit, where if you can just jink and just sort of drop your shoulder. We don't need 100 step overs or anything from Shaw. We just needed to drop his shoulder, beat a man, and then just byline, get that ball across. SESKO's there, or whoever it may be in the centre, and just do something a little bit different. And that's where I agree with you, that we definitely need 2 new fullbacks for me.
Yeah, for sure. Alex, I mean, I've opened the floodgates a little bit here, mate, in the negativity. I'm sure it won't take too much for you to follow me through those doors. Am I being harsh? Tell me.
Talking to the right guy. No, I think, look, very quickly on the fullbacks, I totally agree with you both. Even by Dalot's standards, he was terrible yesterday. The first half, I think he gave the ball away 10 times, which is phenomenal. And you mentioned there about us getting cut through. I'll come to Manu in a second, because I think you made some interesting points there. With the cutting through, you mentioned it there, Dan. We can't pass out with Dalot. So the midfield that can't stop the bleeding is getting knifed through, because Dallot's giving it away. It's like the bad dominoes are back, and you can see it all over the pitch. A weak midfield, fullbacks losing the ball consistently, and we've not got Lisandro to get out. So that's the thing where I totally agree on them 2. And Shaw's been flagging. I know it was a bad tackle on it yesterday. He got stamped on, but the injury's been coming. I think West Ham, he looks leggy, Shaw. And then we had Everton as well. Nobody looked good at Everton, to be fair. But it's been coming that. Now you've got Mizraoui at left back. It's getting clunky. It feels like you said about Dorgu. Can we come to midfield? I think, because you mentioned Manu. I've been looking today. Because I've been looking at, I think after the West Ham game, I'll text you both. Where's Casemiro playing in that West Ham game? Is he playing up front? So you know what you talk about, and I love it when you do that, Dave, with the tiki-taka, the Spanish accent. I love it with Mainu. I absolutely love it. But anyway, I've been thinking today, right? We've seen Mainu dribble. We've seen Mainu shoot. He's stuck one in the top corner against Liverpool. Great finish against City in the FA Cup final. And I was like, Mainu, when was his last Premier League goal? He's not scored a Premier League goal for 2 years. And I thought, what is going on? He's not even looking like he's shooting. He's took 7 shots this season.
He's hardly played though, Alex. But I'm not backing him. I'm not backing him.
One on target. But I just want to touch
playing too deep for me.
This is what I'm coming to, right? On paper, you go, Casemiro's the DM by reputation. Mainu's your 8, Bruno's your 10. What's actually happening is Mainu's the one that's having to keep it simple because Casemiro is making 81% of his passes. That is the worst in the league for DMs. He is giving the ball away. He's treating it like Bruno. Bruno's got a higher pass percentage than Casemiro this season. And Bruno's your risk taker. So if Mainu starts taking risks, mate, I think, and I'm not making excuses, he does have to do more, Dave, but Mainu's a 90% pass completion guy. So is Ahmad. And you take them out the team. Cunha, 80. Casemiro, 80. Mate, you think of DMs in this league. Rodri, 90%. Zubamendi, 88. You know, Sander Berger at Fulham, 90%. Casemiro is rock bottom for pass completion. He is treating it like a grenade launcher. We've got Bruno. Mate, you get it to the 4 in front of you. That's your job. I think Casemiro, and I know he's become a bit of a cult hero, to be honest. I think it's going a bit too far now, right? Might be unpopular, this. I think he's masking the midfield performances with his goals and assists. And I think that's why he's going
Which has dried up a bit.
They're not there
Should have scored a header. Should have scored a header
yesterday. But I don't care about his goals, mate. I've got 4 guys in front who have got goals in abundance. I've got Mbumo, 20 last year. Cunha, 16 last year. Sesko's rolling, and we've got Bruno Fernandes. I don't need Casemiro as an attacker. I want a midfield that you can build a foundation of. The stats are not great from Casemiro passing-wise. One of the worst in the league. And I do think that gives a little bit on Mainu, where Mainu's doing the DM role, like Dan said. That's my Mainu defence there. And I'm not to a degree, but I appreciate he deserves to be dropped.
Yeah, I mean, there's a comment here saying Mainu isn't a shooter. And by the way, guys, when I put comments up, my big finger goes in front of the screen. I apologise. I'm just making it work with a phone here.
You can see my belly as well.
Yeah, you're all good. You look shredded, mate.
No,
Mainu isn't a shooter. Mainu is the guy that controls the tempo of the game. He sits tight when he needs to, so he can fire into space when we need it. Oh my God, mate. Listen, Twisted, I'm sorry. This is all I ever hear from Mainu fans. He controls this, he controls that. I just don't see it. I just think maybe I don't like that type of midfielder, and that may sound crazy. How can you not like a midfielder that controls the game? I don't think he controls the game. I don't think he controls the game. I think he gets the ball. He plays it simple every single time. He's a La Liga specialist. Pass sideways, pass forward, pass backwards. I don't see any intent with his passing. Maybe I'm used to the man that's managing the team now. When Michael Carrick was in that position, he used to get the ball, bang, straight into the striker's feet, do something with it. And maybe SESKO isn't good enough for that. But you know what I mean? That's the type of midfielder I want. I'm not a huge fan of that Mainu-style midfielder. Now, listen, are those midfielders quality and needed in the right system? Yes. I don't think it suits the way we play football. I just don't think... I don't want to get rid of Mainu. And I don't want this... Listen, ultimately, games against Palace and Everton were games we would lose. We found a way to win them, yeah? And if we hadn't won them, Jesus, I'd be absolutely fuming. We've done fantastic, and Mainu contributed to that. I'm just saying I don't see what all the fuss about is with Mainu. That's all I'm saying. Dan, I mean, I know I've asked you before with Mainu. Do you agree with that? He controls the game?
Yeah, I don't think it's quite controlling the game. I think he's got the ability to dictate the tempo to a certain extent. So what I mean by that is I feel too much that he's playing more. He's sitting a bit too much for me, and I think it's Casemiro's box crashing quite a bit. And you do often see that Maino's quite deep, and he's meant to be sort of sat there. Do you think they
should be switching roles? You think they should be switching roles there in that box crashing situation?
Probably not, because I sort of see what Carrick's trying to do. I think he's trying to give us an extra edge in terms of getting that goal, because we're struggling to get that goal through open play a lot of the time. So I think a lot of the time is building up a bit of play, or we're getting a set piece, and then Casemiro's good in the air. So I think he's just using Casemiro's strength for now, and he's just going to fit. Obviously, he's going to get phased out in the summer because he's going into. So I think
do you think
ultimately,
it's by design? Just defo by design? Because sometimes I watch Casemiro, I'm like, he's just doing this on his own accord. But like
I think he's just doing his own thing almost. But
7 games of it now. Carrick's got to be. I agree. I think that he can't be watching this and going, Casemiro still box crashing if it's not by design, right? So
no. I just think we just need to get a out and out 6 that sits. And then if you are playing Maino, he can play more of an 8 role where he's sort of box to box almost. And then you can sort of get in amongst the play. Because I think he's someone you can bounce the ball off, definitely. And he's also someone that can progress the ball a little bit by maybe beating a man or two. I just don't think his best position is sat disciplined as a 6, where he's meant to be this sort of conductor. He's not a conductor for me. He's not... it's not what we thought we were going to get in Frankie de Jong, for example. He's not that conductor. So I think where we really liked him is a couple of seasons ago when he was popping up in the finals against City or when he played for England, but he was playing a different role in both of those occurrences for me. So the thing is, it's hard to know what his best position is, because I wouldn't even say he's a 10 really. And I think that's probably being sort of overshadowed by the way how well Bruno plays 10, because people are saying to me that if Bruno leaves, Cunha could go into that 10 position. I'm not sure. I know we're going off to Cunha here, but I'm just not sure. And maybe it's because we are clouded by the fact that Bruno and his stats and the amount of assists and goals he gets as a 10, I don't know whether I'm just sort of saying to myself, can any other player play that role, if that makes sense? But for me, Maino's at 8, not a sitting 6.
Yeah, I mean, there's a comment here from Marv. I mean, Bruno leaves, go get Cole Palmer. I mean, Cole Palmer, anyone will struggle to fit Bruno's shoes, and Cole Palmer's a shout. Problem. But I watched him against Arsenal, Marv, and I mean, he's strong, he's athletic, he's great touch on the ball, but I mean, he's not creating moments for me. He's got little sporadic moments, but he's not creating Bruno moments. But I hear it. Replacing Bruno is going to be very, very difficult. To finish the Mainu thing, I just feel like Mainu's a great player. He's a good player. Is he a midfielder that will take us next season to compete in the Premier League? I do not think so. I don't think Man City would take him in their first team. I don't think Arsenal would take him in their first team. I don't think Liverpool takes him in their first team. I don't think Chelsea takes him in their first team. And when you look at that and when you go through that, you start to scratch your head and think, fine, he's got potential and maybe he can prove me wrong. I say it here all the time on this show, guys. I'm happy for a player to completely prove me wrong, and I put my hands up like I've done with SESKO. I'm hoping I do it with Ahmad. I'm hoping I do it with Mainu.
I could see him in a City team. Rodri, if you had prime Rodri and you had Maino and I don't know who have they got now, I think I could see him in a City team personally. But I know maybe we've all got different opinions, haven't we? But yeah,
no, for sure. No, Dan, that's what it's about. That's what it's about. Go for it,
Dave. I mean, particularly Dave on this. Just thinking about next season, obviously, and I've always felt that Mainu is, and you say it, La Liga. I think he is a 4-3-3 midfielder. And if you take I do think what I will agree with you on. I don't think he's a perfect mesh with a proper 10. I almost think you do need a flat 4-3-3 to get the best out of Mainu. Bruno's not a flat 4-3-3 player. Bruno's a 10. How hard is that? Say you've got Bruno and Mainu going into next season. That new signing. How difficult? Who do you get in that role? Is that a difficult signing for you?
Yeah.
I mean, is Elliot Anderson going to be enough?
And I was watching Wharton in that game. We were linked with Believe. No. We were linked with Wharton, yeah. Let's forget the Elliot Anderson for a second and whatever else we've been linked in. Let's just talk about those two players there briefly.
Yeah.
Since we've been linked with them in the summer, they've absolutely fallen off a cliff. Wharton got subbed off, for goodness sakes.
I didn't notice him yesterday.
Yeah, I see him. I didn't notice him till I see him on the bench with oh my God, he's been subbed off. I mean, I do not trust our club. I do not trust our club to identify midfielders. we really struggle to identify midfielders. I'm
What
really
player
worried in that
profile do you
department.
think? What profile? I mean, are we talking an athletic monster to get around the Bruno main and midfield, like to support them?
Yeah, I want at least 6 foot strong who can do quite a lot. I mean, I know there isn't many of them anymore, and it's a little bit like what's he called at Villa, who was at Everton for a bit. I forget his name.
Onana.
That's it. But I know he's not really fulfilled what he was potentially going to do. It's almost like I'm just trying to think, almost like a Yaya Toure or a Patrick Vieira. I know you don't really get him anymore.
No. Do you know what?
Yeah.
Do you know
but
what?
It's
Mate, you took the words out of my mouth. You know, before you went, I was literally going to say, do you know who we need? The geezer that was on Sky Sports last night. And it was Yaya Toure. I've not seen many box-to-box players like that fella, I tell you.
Yeah.
We need that sort of profile, but the problem is we start spewing out
you
players
find
like Scholes, Yaya Toure. I mean, we're off our fucking heads, guys. Where are we going to find these players?
But the thing is, though, and I'm going to say the country because that's where you normally get a player like that from, Africa. And normally you can get a really energy, long distance, lots of energy, lots of strength from Africa, whether it be Cameroon,
facts.
whether it be, you know what I mean? And I just think, surely there's something out. We've tried it. Well, we've got Kone.
When was the last time we done that? When was the last time we done that? Jemba? I know you just mentioned Kone in the academy.
Yeah, but he's not there.
When was I mean, we don't get the Essiens, we don't get the John Obi Mikels.
Exactly.
We don't get the Makalelis, we don't get the Kantes.
We should have got Casado and we turned it down. We turned it down and he went to Brighton.
Look, we've gone on a bit of a negative downward spiral here. I know we're looking at next season. But yeah, look.
We need a monster in there, is what I'm trying to say. We need a monster.
We do. I don't know where that monster is, guys. And the chat's trying to find that monster as well. And Marv's mentioned there that Elliot Anderson's probably the only one that we've been linked with that's playing half decent. But even they're getting relegated, aren't they? You know what I mean? Like,
he looked well against us, though, I felt. I thought he had a good game against us when we played him. Out of the 3, it's Anderson for me. But even Anderson, I'm not sure is enough. But I'm not sure. Because the thing is, look at
this comment here. Skull's granddad was there for Africa. No English player is that good. That's quite funny, actually. Skulls was too good to be English. I know that sounds terrible, but you know what I mean? He was just technically out of this world. I mean, the only one close to him was Gaza, maybe. You know what I mean? But anyway, sorry, Dan, go for it.
No, I was just going to quickly say, I know we talk about players that are going to get relegated and stuff like that, but I know it's going back in time, but Roy Keane was in a team that was not great. And stuff like that.
So you can look. Yeah.
There's different teams. West Ham, I know they won something, but then Declan Rice has gone.
Is that right,
you just never know. People can do a step up, can't they? Is all I'm trying to say.
We signed Roy Keane when he got relegated with Nottingham Forest.
I'm sure they got relegated. I'm sure.
Well, there you go. Maybe it's an omen. We keep going back in the past. But listen, on a positive note. Let's talk about SESKO for a second. Yeah, I know I just said technically I'm not a big fan of him. I asked, and you guys agreed for him to start, right? I said, this guy needs to start against the low block. And I ain't going to lie, I was watching the game thinking, please score, mate. So that people don't call you a super sub. You know what I mean? And does he deliver? I said it earlier in the stream. These one-touch finishes from strikers, I haven't seen it in a very long time. Look, we've broken down a low block. We've won the game. Guys, we've just done 28 minutes of negativity. Probably my fault. But look, that's behind us. Positive notes. That's 2 wins on the bounce, just as I predicted, by the way. Even though I missed a negative, that is what I predicted. 2 wins on the bounce. And SESKO being a huge part of that, guys. I mean, I'll go to you first, Alex, because I've gone to Dan previously. I mean, what are you saying about SESKO, bruv?
Yeah, SESKO. Look, I was with you. I think all 3 of us were pretty. I mean, the word lamppost was used by all 3 of us at one point, which I do still find funny. Maybe not Dan. No, yeah. I think I did like that though, and I stole it off you actually, Dave. Look, I'm so happy to be wrong about this guy. And one thing we talk about the goals and finishes you mentioned. I mean, the one at West Ham. Did that get enough credit? That goal? How hard of a finish that is?
No.
I think it's one of the best ones I've seen this season.
I thought it was a fluke, mate. I ain't gonna lie.
But
to you.
probably. But how
But he has
difficult?
meant it. But I mean, it was
Hey,
unbelievable.
he stuck it there to put it in the net, and he went in the top corner. So props to the guy.
You're
But I
right.
want to talk
You're
about.
right.
Obviously, we've got the goals. The numbers are amazing. You know, I like my numbers. He's averaging a goal every 50 minutes. I've got it in front of me since Amorim has left the club, which is incredible. I want to talk about his mentality and the attitude and the shoulders of the guy. Now, Rasmus Højlund, I never overly rated him, but he scored 10 goals in his first season in the Prem. It's not that bad. Comes into his second season, he fell to pieces. He was never that bad. You know what I mean? We saw it. We saw he was never that guy. Not saying Højlund was good enough. This guy has stood up to the criticism. He's got Gary Neville on Sky Sports. He's got people like us. Everybody slagging him off. He's another 60 mil in the bin, another potential merchant. He stood up, got his chest out on the bench for 6 games. He scored 7 in 8. Props to the guy. And playing for Man United, it's about how you deal with the pressure. And he has dealt with this season, I think, amazingly. In a way, 2 in 17 under Amorim, it's made me feel better about the bloke because he can deal with the negativity and come back and deliver like this. And I'm so, like you said it there, I couldn't agree more. Him scoring yesterday was a big moment for him, I think, because you're right. Is he just a Solskjaer? Is he just a super sub?
Lou's just said it here. She's a Solskjaer fan. I think she'll take Solskjaer back right now as a permanent manager. I mean, that's another conversation, yeah. But that's why she said super sub isn't a bad thing. But sorry to interrupt. Carry on.
No, you're good. Yeah, no, just to wrap up on Sesko, like I said, the big thing for me is I am seeing more from him. The one-touch finishing. I was thinking of his 7 goals since Amorim left. The 2 at Burnley, both first-time finishes. Couple of headers. Is it only the Fulham one where he took a touch? And by the way, after that touch, he put it in the top corner.
That touch was needed there. But yeah, all his goals are practically one-touch finishes. And like I said, I've not seen that from a striker. I mean, when's the last striker that does that? Maybe Harry Kane? Maybe in the Premier League. I mean, who else has got these one-touch finishes?
Go. If you stick with United, is he the first striker who can take finishes like this since Van Persie? Because Van Persie was good with that first touch. I'm not saying there's comparison there. I'm just saying since Van Persie, Højlund couldn't control it. Never mind shoot first time. So Xerxes had a little cameo, didn't he, where he was struggling, bumbling around for 20 minutes. I'm chuffed with him, boys. Honestly, I do you agree with the mentality and seeing that puffing his chest out? Honestly, I'm chuffed.
Yeah. Before I move on to Dan, I mean, there's a question here. Will he start versus Newcastle? I mean, I think he has to, right?
Yes. On a human level, you got to reward it. And I think Carrick did the right. I mean, look, he's won 6 out of 7. Whatever Carrick's doing at the minute, everything's turned into gold, isn't it? But he had to start him because I'm not being funny, boys. In the last 3 games, he's the only guy who scored. He scored 3 in 3. Bruno's pen is the only goal. So the lamppost has turned on. I love that. Yeah. Absolutely love that. So look,
shining bright.
In 3 games, we've scored 4 goals, 1 pen. The other 3 at SESKO. So, like West Ham, Everton, and how many points is he worth? He's not getting the 4th goal in a 4-1 win. He's getting big goals. Big goals, man. Fair play to the bloke. I think he's puffed his chest out. He looks like a United player, something I cannot believe I was going to say this season. So, yeah, unbelievable.
Yeah, fair play. I mean, Dan, I said early on in the season, did we need to sign a striker? Should we have kept Højlund, invested in the midfield? Things would have played out a lot better. That was my view. Yeah, I don't hide from my views, guys. I don't care if anyone tells me you don't know ball. I'm not here pretending I know ball. I just say my opinion and how I feel, guys. Yeah, but that was my view. Oh my God, when he scored that header, I jumped up and said to my dad, "That's what we signed him for. That's what we signed him for." What a goal! I mean, Dan, how do you feel about Sesko?
Yeah, I mean, I think I said before. I'm gonna say that terminology that you don't like. High ceiling.
Yeah.
And what I mean is, I'm not saying he's got a super high ceiling, but I was sort of saying that. Don't get me wrong. I've said it before. At the time, what a Gyökeres, because he played under Amorim, for example, it seemed to make sense. He was sort of like the first choice with what was available. Did not want Delap, and I'm so glad. And I mean, I don't want to. Don't get me wrong. I wanted to win that cup, Europa League. But if we'd have won that and got Champions League, we would have Delap right now. And this is going to be, that would have been Wilcox. Wilcox had his heart set on Delap. Delap turned us down for Champions League football with Chelsea, and I'm so glad, Rory, that you did that. Is it Rory? I mix him up with his dad sometimes.
That's his dad. It's Liam.
That's his dad.
Liam. Yeah,
I'm so glad, Liam, that you chose Chelsea. Because when you look at the two of them, and obviously I've sort of compared, I won't compare him to Haaland because he's a freak. He's an absolute freak. But when you think about Delap, you think about SESKO, and you think about Gyökeres, yes, Gyökeres has got slightly more goals than SESKO, but he's got 22 starts. SESKO's got 12 starts. And also, and I keep saying, when Amorim, I think I blame Amorim for stunting his run because he was on run of 2 goals, took him out. And I think he got taken out by Fletcher as well at one point as well. So he's had a bit of a stop-start. But it's all about confidence, and most players are all about confidence. And I think his ratio, his goal ratio, is right up there. And it's better than Gyökeres's. It's definitely better than Delap's. And like I say, who else we've been linked to? So I obviously not better than Haaland's, but apart from him, then I think he's right up there. He's still young. He's got a lot in his locker for me because, I agree with you, David. He isn't the best on the ball in terms of technically.
He's not, no.
But look at his speed. I know it was only against Everton and it was Tarkowski, but his rapids though, for his height, his rapids. I was saying before, I think one game he clocked 11 seconds, 100 meters, which when you've not got spikes and you're not a trained 100 meters runner, that's really good. That 11 seconds, and he could probably beat that barrier. So he's got speed. He's got the height. He's got the leap. I want to see him more headed goals, but I'm looking at the stats and he's getting about I think it's 1.5. He's getting headers per game. That's not a lot for someone that's that tall, who could be deadly in the box. So he needs more crosses into the box. So to say he had 2 headed chances in that game and he scores 1 of them, that's not a bad ratio, to be fair to him.
Yeah.
That goal against West Ham, you can say it's a fluke, and I think you'll say it's a fluke because of how it happened. I had to watch that back through a fans recording in the stadium just to see how that actually got connected with and went into the net. And he meant it because he looked like he meant it. He's connected with it how you would do in that position. It seemed like it was the only thing he could do in that situation as well. That is an unbelievable finish. And I think everybody on TV, all YouTubers, you name it, content creators are saying, opposition fans are saying that goal is unreal. Because like I said, there's nothing else he could have done to score that. And I was glad, like you've just said there as well, I was glad because I don't want him to be labelled as a super sub. And I get what the comments were saying there about a super sub's not a bad thing. But nobody wants to be a super sub, really, do they? They want to start games. They want to make a difference. The next thing I want for SESKO now is to see some of those absolute bangers he was doing in the Bundesliga. And then on top of that, I want to see him starting to score a brace, a hat-trick. Wanting to see left foot, right foot, and see a bit more from him. But other than that, I think next season's going to be the tester, but he's looking good so far for me. And the lamppost is on, shining bright.
You're right. 100%. That was a great comment. It says here from Twisted, SESKO has 9 GA in the league. Gyökeres has 10. SESKO has 600-ish less minutes than Gyökeres. So, I mean, it's a huge difference, right? Let me go through a few more. Sorry if my finger's on the screen here. Marv just saying he's got to leave. Bear with me. There's a comment here from Lou, I think. Eventually, I'll find it. Too many comments, guys. This is what we like to see, to be honest. Lads, what do you reckon to the disappearance of Heaven from the starting lineups? He should have been ahead of Euro on performance. I mean, this has slightly drifted us off SESKO, but to be honest, we've said all we need to say on SESKO. He's been fantastic. His one-touch finishing is exactly what I want to see. And I'm with Dan on that one. It'd be nice to see him score a few braces and maybe take a few touches, beat a player and put it bottom corner. That would add some strings to his bow as a striker. But listen, even if he doesn't add that to his game and he keeps scoring a goal a game like he's doing at the moment, I do not care. You know what I mean? But as for Euro, man, oh my God, this wasn't on the agenda. And I thank Lou for bringing it up because he was going to go under the radar. I think he's flipping awful, man. I think he's absolutely awful, Euro. And maybe he's completely confused with being played in a free under Amorim. And I think it was you, Alex, that said this could have an effect on him moving forward. I think it bloody has. He's I mean, what was all this about the next Rio Ferdinand and, Real Madrid wanting him? And Dan, maybe you can stop me in my tracks here, but
I'm
I
going
mean,
to do.
yeah, I'm sure you are. I think he's a massive drop off. I'd rather play Heaven ahead of him. He's a massive drop off from Martinez. I'm not a big fan of Euro at all. I'm not. I'll go to you first, Dan. I know you just finished, but you seem to disagree. So tell us why.
No, I'm only going to be really quickly and just give a little bit of just a different angle to it. It sounds like Alex might be agreeing with you as well, which is obviously fine. Euro, I do think that he's been impacted by the back three. He's not a back three defender. He's not a channel defender. I've said this many times before. So when you're playing right centre back, he's going out wide to engage with a player. It's not his game. It really isn't his game. I think if he was in a settled back four with, for now, an experienced centre back at the side of him and he gets his confidence, I think there's a good player in there. Now, in regards to how he played against Crystal Palace, obviously, I can't defend him on that one. He's lost his man to a certain extent and he hasn't been strong enough. And the Lacroix, however you pronounce him, has done a stunning header that's gone in the back of the net. I don't think he did much wrong after that. Maybe I'm wrong. I'll have to watch it again. But one thing I will say is what's in him as a player is that performance against West Ham. Because name me a centre-back that would have stopped those two attacks on his own 2v1. Because he acted brilliantly for me, covering that space and shoving, is it Wilson that's playing for them now at West Ham? He covered that. There was two occasions where if he hadn't have done that last-ditch tackles, we'd have lost that game. So he's got that in him. And the Rio Ferdinand thing, that was just way too early. And I think it's because Ferdinand got involved and said, yeah, Euro, come to Manchester United. And he got linked to Rio. That's way too early. It's just like when people say Virgil van Dijk is better than John Terry and better than Rio Ferdinand, better than Vidic. It's like, for me, to judge him, it will be when he's finished his career, maybe. I think it's too early to be saying stuff like that. You haven't won enough. You haven't done enough. Going back to Euro, I just think give him a chance next season in a settle back four. I think you'll see a different Euro personally, but that's just my opinion on it. I could be wrong, but that's how I see it. And just really quickly on Heaven, I think he was just a little bit unlucky that he didn't come in, as he's a left footer. So you could have kept Maguire on the right and put Heaven on the left. But he's not going to give you what Martinez gives you in terms of playing the ball through the lines. I've got a little bit of reservations about Heaven, if I'm honest. I don't think he's quite there. I think
a bit rash down.
Yeah, I think there's a reason why Arsenal let him go, personally. I think there's a he reminds me too much of Smalling a little bit, but maybe I'm being a bit harsh there. But I'm not seeing enough in Heaven yet. But I actually see something in Euro. I could be completely wrong, but I prefer Euro over the two. I think there's not a lot between them, if I'm honest. But I think there's a bit more in Euro. And I think he had a lot more experience coming into our team over Heaven because he was playing first team football in France, whereas Heaven was just coming through the youth ranks. The last thing I remember about Heaven before he came to us is when Rasmus absolutely tore his ass to bits and scored past him in that pre-season game. But I think there's a player in Euro. It's just yet to be seen yet. But over to you guys.
Go for it, Alex. Yeah. Am I just losing my head again? I've got a comment here. I've got a comment here before you come in. Let me find it. Oh God, doing this on your phone is a nightmare. Amateur hour. Here we go. Here it is. David, name the play you are a fan of. Very funny. Great question. Great question.
Don't like any of them.
Dan's backed you on it. Listen, I'm a fan of anyone Ineos signs because at the moment, Ineos signings are out of this world. If they have another transfer window like this, Ineos, oh my God, we could be pushing for the league, to be honest with you.
Oh, yes.
Le Mans, Mbumo, Dorgu, Cunha, SESKO. Yeah, without those five, we'd be back in 15th.
Agreed.
Easily.
But 5 hits.
So 5 players I like. There you go. I'm sure there's more.
Plus
But
Bruno,
go
we'll
for
give
it.
you Bruno.
Go for it, Alex.
Yeah.
You know, should we ever have signed Yoro, or should we let him go to Real Madrid, like
Yeah,
everyone
no,
said?
Yeah. Obviously, I don't know if you remember, like a while ago, I did a short on Euro. I think it was after the Palace game away, actually, when he fell over and he gave a penalty away in the first half. And obviously, the Southampton massacre last season when he got tore a new one by Suleimane. Again, to your point, Dan, I'm not skipping past.
That was bad. That was bad.
The right centre back shit was horrendous. And I agree. I didn't like Amorim just. At what point do you go, he can't defend wingers and stop it? He never did, but that's Amorim. But the thing with Yoro is, my concern is the lack of fundamentals. And I get potential. I get you can learn from mistakes. That yesterday, and I know he just lost his man. He's not watching the ball off a corner. This is young stuff. This is you keep your arm on your attacker. You watch the flight of the ball. You body your guy. You attack the ball. He's got 2 eyes on Lacroix as it's coming in. Mate, this is low level. And the wingers, you pointed out there, Dan. We had Suleimane, we had Morgan Rogers this season, we had Dewsbury Hall deck inside him, bang it in the top corner as well in the Everton game. They're showing people on their favoured foot. It's the fundamentals. And I know he's not a right back, but it's like it's worrying me a little bit where I've got to see more. He was 60 million. He's got to be a hit. For him to be a hit, he's got to be a starter. And I think you mentioned there, would you have signed him? The answer is no, because right now, if he doesn't become a starter for Manchester United in a good United team, by the way, it's a bad buy. He's 60 mil. He's the back end of the potential merchants that you both know, the Cunha and Bumo summer. And SESKO even, he had more experience than Yoro had 1 season in Liga for, was it Lille? And then you have Dorgu, a bit of inexperience, but he was 20 mil, 25 mil. Le Mans inexperienced, he was 20 mil. You're going 60, you're paying the big bucks. I want the experience. I want 35 Champions League appearances. I don't want 1 year for Lille, and then you come over and you're not attacking headers, you're losing your men off corners. I'm worried about him. It was the back end of the potential guys, your Højlunds, your Antonys, even Garnacho from the academy. They'll get better, they might not. So I just think, no, I wouldn't have done it. And if I could go back now, I wouldn't do it. But I might be wrong, and I hope I am wrong, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, there's a comment here, to be fair, if we had a defender on the far post. We do not concede that goal. It's not just Yoro's situational awareness that's an issue. And
He's
you're
got to
right.
take care of business. He's got to take care of business, though.
Le Mans didn't budge on that one either, did he? But he was sensational against Everton.
It's very rare that a header like that goes in, but I suppose you're also right that he's got to take care of business. But it's very rare a header like that goes in because that person's right. There should be somebody there. It's normally like a Shaw or someone that's there. Yeah. It's strange.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. I mean, maybe we've got the knives out here a little bit for Yoro, and being a bit harsh. And look,
what do you think, Dave? Would you go back and do the deal right now, knowing what you know?
No bloody chance. I'll never have signed a fella. No chance. But listen, again, blimey, I'm happy to be proven wrong. I just think we drop off a cliff with him. The only perk I like from him is, Dan's right, there are some last-ditch challenges, almost similar to Aaron Wan-Bissaka. He's got that about him a little bit, where he just claws his leg around, makes a last-ditch tackle, and you're like, fair play, Yoro, great tackle. And he does have that, let me be careful here, but that Rio Ferdinand-esque bringing the ball out from the back, but he just doesn't do it enough. He just doesn't do it enough.
And he's got a pass in him. He's got a pass in him, and he's got good balance. He's got good recovery pace. But again, I'm not sitting here saying this is the player that we should have got. Definitely, what I'm saying is that now we've got him. I think there's something there. And if I was going to compare him to Heaven's made probably just as many mistakes. We've just forgotten about them because they happened quite early on when he first came in. And he did get better, and his confidence got better. But I still, personally, I just think there's more to his game than Heaven's. But
one last question, Dan, before we move on from Yoro. If De Ligt is fit, does Yoro play? If Martinez is fit, does Yoro play?
No, I mean, to be honest, my vision of Yoro was him and De Ligt together at some point. The only problem with that is that I'd hate to miss Martinez's playing through the lines pass, but should we really be that dependent on a centre-back playing the ball between the lines? Because when you look at other teams, is there many centre-backs that are doing that? So we've got one that does it, and it's great, and we miss it when it doesn't happen. But should we really be relying on a centre-back doing that? So
you're right,
really,
but to be fair, I think that's why I'm harsh on Euro. Sorry to cut you off, Dan. I think when I watch Martinez so comfortable on the ball and linking defense to midfield and midfield linking it to attack, sometimes he skips midfield altogether and goes straight through to the attack. I just expect that standard when the replacement comes in. And there's a comment here from Will. I think you're a few defenders and a quality DM away from being back in the title race, depending on how the summer goes and who the next coach is. We're going to go on to the coach part, but ignoring the coach part of your comment there, I believe this too. It needs to be addressed in the summer. If we finish third and we can get a left back, we can get a right back, I just don't see Euro or Mainu being the answer to any of those questions. The answer to us challenging for a title. Shaw and Dallo also being included in that. But Euro, there's still time, right? I'm just not a huge fan. Sorry, Dan, I cut you off there, but carry on.
No. Just lastly on that, I envisaged that. I think he'd form a good partnership with De Ligt personally.
Yeah.
Purely because I think Maguire's got to that age now and he might move on. Martinez, love the guy. Plenty of quality on the ball. He's a freak of a centre-back in terms of his height. He just defies logic in terms of his skill. Every now and again, I look back at that. He did like a bit of a skill move at Ajax in training just before he was leaving the training pitch where he flicks it up and then just like flicks it into the goal. And you just think, no, I can't think of another defender in world football. I'll have to find the skill and send it to you so you can explain what I'm talking about. Where I know that's not the be-all and end-all, but what I'm trying to say is, in terms of his technical ability, is off the scale for a centre-back. So the problem is, we've got used to Martinez doing that, but
that's what it is. I think
he can't get a replacement for that because name me another centre-back that can do some of the stuff that Martinez can do. And I'm not being funny. I'll wait, and I'm not being funny. Tell me, someone in the chat, tell me, because we're not going to be able to replace that because there isn't one. I don't think there is one. So it's a bit like Bruno. Give me a Bruno replacement. There probably is someone that's really good on the ball that can do passes here and there. But in terms of his ability to create, you're going to struggle. So going back to a centre-back, you want your centre-back to be strong, to be positionally aware, to be able to head balls out of the box, to be able to progress play to a certain extent, not to the freak level as Martinez, by the way. And I just think Euro, I'm not saying he's going to be the be-all and end-all right now, but I've always said we need at least another centre-back anyway of high quality that we can rely on, depend on, that's not injury-prone and all that sort of stuff. And then you can start to blood people like Heaven and Euro into the team and see what they're really about. Let's just lastly on this. Look how many potential players we've brought into this club, but we're bringing them around shit, basically.
Yeah, I hear your point.
Just like negativity, shit, scrutiny around the club, going nowhere, winning nothing. We're not allowing our youth to thrive because there isn't even like now, Euro probably shouldn't play as many games as he's played, maybe, because we should be in, I should say, he should have more opportunity to play because we should be in Europe. We should be in the FA Cup. We should be in Carabao Cup. And that's exactly where we should be seeing Euro. But we're not having that ability to blood some of these youngsters and give them more chance because we're shit. We're getting better now, but, so there's a bit of product of your environment as well, a little bit.
I hear your point there, Dan, but to go off of Alex's point there, and I guess it's easy to go off of Alex's point because we agree on this, right? But paying 60 mil for someone, they shouldn't need to be bled in my opinion. But
trust me, I ain't sat here saying that you two are talking absolute shit. I get your points fully. All I'm trying to say is that, and again, if you was to say to me, is he worth every penny that we've paid? No, and we've paid more to beat Real Madrid, and some of it's a little bit like, well, Real Madrid want him, so shall we go for him? I mean, I heard something.
I think that was a little bit of his agent, maybe.
Yeah, possibly.
Bigging him up a little bit.
Yeah, it's probably something like, we don't want to miss out on this gem because Real Madrid want him. And if we just go over the odds a bit, we'll get him. And you just think, there's other sort of, I mean, they were saying something about Todd Bowley the other day, saying that he'd done something similar where they've bought a player over the odds because City might have wanted him. I don't want that bullshit happening, but I do feel that there's been some scouting there. It's just that I hope that it does fulfill his potential in the future. But if you guys are right, you're right. That's fine.
No, look, Dan, it's great. You bring balance to the show, right? And that's what we want. That's what we want. And I need the balance because I can just go off on a tangent. As far as I'm concerned, the fella's just got one job: hold on to your man. Lascelles or whatever the fella's name was, Lacroix. It's a bit of a long name for me.
Lascelles,
Ex-Newcastle. That's Wednesday.
That's Wednesday. Whatever the fella's name.
He'll be losing Lascelles Wednesday.
Yeah, he's already lost him.
Yeah. He didn't have an invisible cloak, for goodness sake. He just dropped his shoulder and flipping Euro was completely fucking dizzy. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's just like, come on, Euro. And you've got Jamie here saying we would have been in the title race had we sacked the fraud Amorim after Grimsby. And not to go into that, because, Amorim must be sitting at home absolutely confused, ashamed, questioning his whole philosophy and what he did wrong, right? Because since the turn of 2026, and this may be shameful, but since the turn of 2026, Manchester United are top of the Premier League for points. We have got, what was it, guys? 19 points out of 21.
Yes.
And Jamie has a point here. Had we sacked the fraudulent man that is Amorim, we maybe would have been in a title race. Who knows? You know what I mean?
What do you want us to think about that? Well, just a very quick one. I think I asked you this last time, right? Just a very quick question on that, because I think it's a great. I know. Obviously, maybe tongue in cheek. I don't know. So, if we win our game in hand, we're 10 points off of Arsenal right now. Ruben Amorim managed 20 league games this season, did he? Or 19? Basically half the season. We had a bad run in December where we drew to all those bottom half teams. You remember West Ham, Bournemouth, Wolves, Leeds, Burnley. We drew to all them teams in December /Jan. I'm not saying, look, low blocks look still like a bit of a kryptonite. Just from your perspective, I assume you both think with Carrick we would have more points. Well, how many more? Because we're 10 points off Arsenal now. So if you just say, I think Carrick would have, say, maybe 5 or 6 points better off if he managed all season, we'd be 4 points off Arsenal now. So is it tongue in cheek? Do you think we would be in a title race if we sacked him after Grimsby?
It's easy to say in hindsight. No one knew that this bounce. Is it still a bounce? I don't know. That's something we're going to discuss. But no one knew that this would be what it is right now. Who would have guessed this impact? I said he'd be sacked before the end of the season. Shows how much I know, right? That's me. But I stick to my, I always bring up what I say, right? Yeah, I mean, it is tongue in cheek. Yeah, I mean, you're right. Carrick maybe would have got more points than Amorim. I think definitely he would have got more points than Amorim. We should have sacked Amorim after the Spurs final. We've been over this, right? And we could have been in a completely different place now. But on that moves us to the next point of the chat. Michael Carrick's third place. Manchester United's third place. Steve Holland is third place. Johnny Evans is third place. Jonathan Woodgate's Manchester United are third place. I've just named all the coaching staff there, guys, because they all deserve to be named because they've all contributed.
Correct.
What's going on here? I mean, are we giving them the job? Yeah. Are we giving them the job now? I'll start with you, Alex. Right now, you give them the job.
Yeah. I think that right now I've come really far up on Carrick, which is a bit strange because I know you both saw I spoke to you both after the West Ham game, and obviously I did a video post game. I was very upset with the second half. Maybe I was a little bit harsh on Carrick in the second half. It's his first half where you thought he made a couple of mistakes. You know what, though? I text you both after Everton. Everton was shocking. That's not Carrick's fault that the players come past 10 yards. He brought SESKO on earlier than the West Ham game, and he left Cunha on and hooked Ahmad, which was the right thing to do. He went away from that West Ham game and was like, did I get that right? Should I have left Cunha on? Should I have done SESKO earlier? He learned from it in the Everton game. I love that growth from Carrick. And he's got to learn quickly, as we all know. He's got 10 more games in this interview. Right now, look, how can you not think he's favoured for the job? I'm still holding back. 10 games left in this interview, 10 episodes left. I'm not giving my verdict till that 10th game is done. I'm sorry, I'm sitting on the fence. I'm not doing. We've seen this with Dave. We did this with Solskjaer. We beat PSG with that Rashford pen in the last minute. Sign the job. Sign the thing. Rio saying, write your salary on it. The back end of that season went to complete shit. It did. Go and look at the results of the back end of that season. We finished 6th in Ollie's after Ollie got the job. So I'm sitting on the fence till that 10th game has finished in 2 months' time, 3 months' time. But right now, he's the favourite for the job, no doubt.
Dan, have you written up the contract yet? Are you emailing it now as we speak?
Yeah, I just wanted to come in quickly on Alex's question in regards to the timing of Carrick coming in really quickly. I'm just looking at the fixtures. I'm just busy trying to find the fixtures and what came next after Grimsby. It was Burnley. Now, we beat Burnley, don't get me wrong, but and that's another side of it as well. We beat Burnley. But anyway.
Last minute pen, Dan. Last minute pen by Bruno, wasn't it?
Yeah. I think what my point is that we struggled to get it up against those smaller teams. So Carrick coming in against Burnley for the first game, or Carrick coming in against City for the first game. City's kind of like, if you lose it, Carrick, it's City. So it kind of doesn't matter. So I just think my answer to that is that could go one or two ways. And it's just so happens he comes in, they're up for the game because they can get up for City. It was at home. It puts us in that winning position straight away. And then we can kick on to Arsenal where it's another game where we can sort of take it or leave it because it's at the Emirates. And luckily we win that. So Burnley, we could have easily just drawn or lost against that. And that's a loss straight away or dropped points straight away. So you just don't know which way it would go with hindsight. However, we'd have more points than we've got now, I would say. So in a way, you could say, yes, he should have come in earlier. Now, Carrick give him the job. That's the thing, how many and stuff like that. But Carrick getting the job. Obviously, I've done Carrick's at the wheel. It's Carrick. I've done all that.
Yeah.
And I'm happy. Overall, you can't not be happy with, 19 and 21, do you say? You can't not be happy with that. Because, again, you're never going to forget we've beat Arsenal, tough win. Beat City, good win, Fulham, you name it. And we've kind of beat the range of teams so far. Okay, we've struggled a little bit in the last games, but we've beat all the range of teams, haven't we, really? So in regards to giving him the job, though, I still think I need to see a bit more from him in the sense of, I understand what Alex has said there, where it seems like there's a little bit of growth just to learn from his mistakes, and maybe he's lent on your Steve Hollands for that and your Woodgates and what have you. And he has said this time round he's listening to his staff more now. So I don't think he listened to his staff much at Middlesbrough. Now he's reflected and he's actually listening a little bit more. And they are actually all in the meetings giving their own opinions and then coming to a solution. So that's also a good growth. I, though, want to see, before the end of the season, before May comes, I want to see a little bit of better performances here and there, and when we're up against it, that there's the in-game management comes to the fore. And if I see elements of that, I'd probably say short-term contract. I wouldn't be giving him the 3 years with a year extension, and if he does badly, he gets 12 million payoff. I don't think I'd be going down that line. And just lastly, before I finish, it's also about what else is available. Because I've said it plenty of times before, don't want Glasner, don't want all these hipster managers, don't want Areola, don't want Alonso, don't want a back three. And our choices are dwindling, lads. That's the problem for me. It's where do we go next if we don't go with Carrick?
Carrick's above Emery in the league.
He is for me at the moment. He is actually for me at the moment.
By definition, he's above Emery.
No, it's in factually he's above Emery. Yeah.
And he was 11 points behind him when he got the job. So
crazy? Exactly. Wow. And how crazy would it be if you said, "See you later, Carrick, come in Emery," if we finish above Aston Villa? That would be nuts to me. That would be absolutely nuts to me doing that.
You said it.
But no, I think Emery was mentioned as a desperation when we were in completely dire straits.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
things changed though. There was a reason to say it then. But we've caught. I mean, we haven't done it yet, but we've caught Villa. We haven't surpassed them yet, but I'm confident that we are going to finish higher than Villa.
I mean, yeah, I took this off the screen. Carrick is the coach we need right now. He's not. I took it off before I was going to use it, is what I was trying to say. He's not the guy to take us to the next level. I agree with this to a certain extent. I think Michael Carrick could be our Mikel Arteta, where he stabilizes us, gets us playing a certain type of football, gets us almost expected to get results.
Arteta's going to win the league, though.
Yeah, is he? Is he? You know, I don't think he is, but that's a whole other conversation. You know, watch it. I mean, you've just made me drift here now, but fuck it, I'm gonna drift.
Arsenal rants coming. Arsenal rants coming.
Yeah,
yes,
you know, watching that that was not fucking football last night. I mean, even fucking Chelsea were at it. You know, Nketiah scoring a goal from a corner for Chelsea. That's how much Arsenal love fucking corners. They're scoring corners for Chelsea. I mean,
We'll stop settings.
anyone watching Premier League football, right? Paying what you pay on Sky Sports, paying what you pay on TNT Sports, and wherever fucking else you pay on subscription. Easily £150 a month, by the way. Who the fuck wants to watch that? Fucking terrible. I mean, the stream's going to be cancelled. I've sworn 20 times in the last fucking paragraph.
Arteta Pulis, come on.
Disgraceful football. And I just pray every single day that they do not win the Premier League playing this disastrous nonsense.
Arteta's baby Pep, innit?
Oh, God. Well, anyway, I drifted. What Arteta has done...
Rugby Union's on TNT sometimes on a Saturday. Just flick down. Rugby Union.
Man,
you might as well watch Rugby Union instead. I mean, it's the same sport.
Do you know, my missus said to me, "Hey, you're moaning, you're talking a lot of shit there." It's a fair point. She goes, "If that was Man United winning that way, you'd be all right with it." I said, "Oh, babes, there's you know, you're right. I'm not gonna deny it, but
not for the full season, you wouldn't. You wouldn't for the full season.
Blimey, it is a shocker to watch. They got the job done, but anyway. Back to the point of the question. You threw me off completely down on the Arsenal rant, yeah? I feel like Carrick can get us to where Arteta's got Arsenal, yeah?
Right.
And then hopefully a top
we'll
manager
win the league then.
becomes... Yeah, I don't think he will win the league, Arteta. But yeah, I think Carrick can get us to that point, and then we get a top manager. I kind of agree with that. But listen, I'm going to say it now. I said it before. Third place, been a lot of comments coming in, but you know, I'm sure we lost a few viewers, so I'm sure we had quite a few Arsenal fans viewing us, which is great, right? You were in the wrong place, guys. But anyway, I said it here, guys, didn't I? If he gets third, give him the job.
Right. Dave,
and he's third.
Just a question, obviously, for both of you as well. If we come third, amazing achievement from where we were, and I think the standards went up after those performances. We got the tiki-taka, we had the Cunha, Bruno, Luke Shaw, Cunha, Bruno moments, and a lot more than we're getting at the moment. So because of that, our expectations come up where we're like, we're going to be banging it around every single game here with the 1-2s. Ryan Cherky he just gave up and just decided to watch for the second half. If that didn't happen, but the results were the same, I think he's automatically getting the job. It's almost because he raised the bar performance-wise. We're getting greedy now. No. We don't just want wins. We want that tiki-taka you showed us against City. If it continues, if we've plateaued into this, where it's going to be the efficiency, we're going to get 3 points where we can, we're going to be hard to beat, and we come third for the next 10 games. Does that change it for you? Do you think if the performances don't come back from City, Arsenal, Spurs, are you still giving him the job? Or do you want to see a bit more than this? Where are you at with that?
I'll let Dan come in on that because I've just gone on a rant and I need to cool down. But yeah, go for it, Dan.
Yeah, I mean, so I think it sounded like David was going off the finish third, give him the job.
Right.
And obviously I don't want to put words into your mouth because obviously the third position is fantastic.
It's amazing.
From where we were, you would say he deserves it from where we were. Obviously, I'm in the camp of, now that I've calmed down and I've sort of come off that high, cloud nine a little bit with all the good play against City and Arsenal and the wonder strikes and stuff like that. I'm a little bit more like, if we are giving Carrick the job, I'm expecting him to have it sort of in the sense that is the permanent coach. Now, the contract length, I don't know what that's going to be. I would assume that if they're going to give it Carrick and back him, they're probably going to give him a 3-year contract. So that's the issue for me. For me, it's more about, if you're going to give it him and back him and say, Carrick, you're the one, and you're the one above Emery, you're the one above Areola, you're the one above Glasner and whoever else, then I personally need to see a little bit more. I need to see in-game management, and I need to see just that little. I'm not expecting Barcelona under Pep football, but and I'm also happy that there is a little bit of when we are up against it, we can sort of grind out a win, because that's important as well. So you can't always play nice football, but I just want to see that just a little bit more. That just makes me think, you know what? So if we had a really good end to the season, let's say, and I know we're having a decent part of the season now, but if we had a really push to the end of the season and we sort of beat Newcastle well, let's say, and we beat Villa well when we play them, I'd be more convinced. Even if we finish top 4, I'd still be more convinced, because there's a bit more variety there. We can sort of rely on Carrick to sort of switch things up and in-game management. And I'm a bit more in that camp at the moment. But who knows? Euphoria of third and actually finishing third may change my mind. Whatever, however we play. Let's see.
A little bit of the performances you want to come back. Are you sort of saying that you do want a little bit of the performances, or is it third, full stop, given the job? Like,
yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I mean, Marv says here, if we sign Carrick as a permanent, it'll be Ollie all over again. We need to stop settling for the feel-good moment right now and pick a manager with pedigree, vision, and style of football. You know, I agree with Marv. I do agree with Marv. I'm not going to disagree. But for me, I mean, I do not agree with Marv. Now he said this, so I take that back. Marv, Poch, no bloody chance.
This is the problem. What does people mean about pedigree?
Chance.
So if you're saying pedigree's Poch, that's my issue as well.
Yeah, I mean, Marv, I agree with what you're saying, and I'm very much like, you know, we need someone. We can't go for the field. We can't do Ollie again. But to answer your question, Alex, in regards to performances, I'm not too fussed with performances. It does wind me up, and I do message you guys, don't I? Mid-game, I message Dan and I message you. It's fucking awful, isn't it? Fucking awful. You know, that's all I message you guys all game. So of course, it matters to me. But ultimately, if we win games, that's all that matters. At the end of the game, I was so happy my weekend was sorted. So if he continues to win games like he's winning, SESKO keeps scoring with his one-touch finishes. Bruno breaks the assist record. My goodness. How can we how can we fix what's not broken?
But really quickly, do we not need to have a level of sustainability though? That's the only thing I'm going to say. And what I mean by that, it's not so much tiki-taka and stuff like that, but most of the good coaches with a good team have a way of playing where even when the chips are down, they'll play through it, sort of thing, and they'll get the goal. And City at their height were like that. Arsenal can do it now and again. I know they're doing a lot of bus stop stuff, waiting for a bus, and then the corner comes in. I get that. But when I liked Arsenal, even just recently, they could play through it and just, pass a team to death or whatever it may be. We just need to find an identity that we can cling on to, that we know is going to create goals, it's going to create chances. And at the moment, there isn't a lot of that happening. But sorry to cut. It's just what I'm thinking about.
Right.
I think when you think about Carrick doing next season for a full season, you can't just rely on SESKO scoring a goal like that against West Ham, because he'll never score a goal like that again, I don't think. So there's got to be a level of sustainability, but also the ability to think, right, I need a plan B or C to then get the win here or get the draw here. And I know we've done it, but it's individual nature at most times that's carried us through this.
Yeah,
but
I think someone disagrees.
Is the squad built like that though? Like it is like when you. I was going to say to you both with yesterday, and we were speaking about SESKO having the least touches in the game. I felt a bit for the bloke. He got one good cross in the end, and he fair play stuck it in with a great header. It reminds me a little bit of that front three, and I know with the Ahmad thing, his top's behind me, which is going to go soon. Don't worry, Dave. But front three, and you know, my thing was I'm keeping Ahmad in for what he brings, right?
Yeah, it's a fair point.
I'm not saying that we weren't very good yesterday because Ahmad was on the bench. We were crap against Everton and Ahmad was on the pitch. So there might not be a fix here. It reminds me that front three yesterday. It was a bit. If I was playing PlayStation, I was on FIFA. That's the front three I picked. Brilliant. I wouldn't have Ahmad on. But sometimes in football, you remember when we had San Cristiano second time, and we had Mason Greenwood, Ronaldo, Rashford front three on FIFA. I'm sure that was amazing. In reality, you've got two strikers, two wingers who care about cutting in and shooting. You got a striker who needs service in Cristiano / SESKO, different players obviously, but the same where Ronaldo was in his career, he needed some crosses from the wide areas. Greenwood and Rashford offered nothing. Cunha and Bumo want to cut in and score, the goal scorers. It's all on Bruno to feed SESKO, and I do think that Ahmad does bring a little bit of a nicer blend to that. So the squad's not built great, in my opinion, for sustainability. There's not things I hang my hat on. It is moments. We are a little bit moments again.
Yeah.
So that's my point really with the squad. I just don't know if it's built brilliantly at the minute, by the way.
Yeah, no, I hear your points. Listen, it's a tough one to answer, isn't it? The Carrick situation, when you don't know what who the replacement is, and just when you look at the market, there doesn't seem to be an obvious replacement. Unfortunately, everyone's got a job and everyone's kind of signing new contracts. So you start scratching your head, and you start hearing words like Poch, and you start hearing words like, putting Emery in there, despite him maybe potentially finishing underneath him. You start thinking, nah, man. But look, what I will say in Carrick's defence and Steve Holland, and the reason I mention Steve Holland is because I think he's had a massive impact on this team.
100%.
I think he's gone in there and just gone back to basics. I know the word old school seems to be used in every industry, right? In a world that just goes so fast now with technology and new ways to do things. But sometimes when a team is confused, when a team doesn't know what to do, just go old school. Let's go back to basics, guys. And it just feels like that's what's happened with Manchester United. We used to say, opposition fans and us as well, when we look at our team on paper, we're not this awful, are we? We're not as awful as we've looked under Amorim, are we? We were all scratching our heads. And Carrick has actually turned his team into what it's read on paper. And then some.
Fair point.
And I have to give him credit for that, man. And if he gets another 4 or 5 signings that has a similar impact that these signings have had since he took over, by the way, these signings have hit the ground running since he took over. Man, I mean, the sky's the limit, you would think. You really would think the sky's the limit. So it's a tough one for me. For me, if this continues, guys, I think it's a no-brainer. You have to give him the job. But to finish the show, and Alex, if you need to rush off, mate, you can rush off. No issues. Let me know. Newcastle, midweek. I think they just lost to Everton, didn't they? They're having a stinker. After Newcastle, we're going to stick to Newcastle, but after Newcastle, it's Aston Villa, and then it's Bournemouth, and that would be the 5 in a row. That would be the next question I'm going to ask you guys. But Newcastle next, is that 3 points midweek?
I'll go first. I've got to jump off, but I'll do a very quick one on the next one. I've just got to jump off and.
No problem.
Right. Okay. So we've got Newcastle next. I think. Forgive me. I don't know if I said this to both of you or one of you, so maybe I'm repeating myself a little bit here. We were texting on Sunday, weren't we, after the game? I've got this horrible feeling that a loss is coming, right? And that's fine. Look, we're not going to win, or we're not going to be unbeaten until the end of the season. I'd be floored if we went another 10. We're up. We've not lost since Villa on Boxing Day, have we? Is that right? I think. Oh, sorry, no, before Christmas. So we've not lost a game since. We've not lost a game since about the 20th of December when that game was against Aston Villa.
Isn't it 11 games unbeaten? Is it 11 games unbeaten, guys? Something like that, yeah.
It's got to be, hasn't it, by definition? We've not lost since before Christmas. That's something insane. We're not going to go another 10. Like you said, we're not going to finish 21 games unbeaten, I'm sure. This one does feel like, I know I'm United are going to win. United are going to win. My predictions have been positive since Carrick's come in. My prediction is a loss here. And I know that's not what I've been saying. I feel like I wanted a performance Sunday. I love the 3 points. I feel like they want us, don't they? They're trying to turn it into a rivalry. Like, get back. Newcastle, you ain't rivalry, Man United. I don't care if you're the Champions League or what. But they want that rivalry, don't they? We stole SESKO off them and they ended up with that Voltemade who's absolutely terrible. I'm not confident, to be honest. I think this is going to be the loss. And it's going to be a bounce back against Villa, big game against Villa if we do lose. That's my prediction, and I am going to have to love you and leave you. But thank you for having me both, and I'll tune into your predictions obviously after. So thank you
Guys,
both. Okay.
please sub to Alex, the
Okay.
Football Brotherhood. He's excellent. Him and his brother, the Man
Thank
City
you.
fan, who we hopefully have here soon. See you soon, Alex. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
mate.
Appreciate you
Chat,
both. Bye.
Alex.
See you, mate.
All right.
See you, mate. See you, mate. Dan, I mean, he's just come. He's gone and left and said we're going to lose. Cool, blimey. What a way! What a way to leave the stream. I mean, where you at? Where are you at with the Newcastle game? It's away, isn't it? It is away, isn't it?
It's away, yeah. It's away.
Yeah.
I'm with Alex in the sense that I'm sensing a loss is coming because it just feels a bit weird. I can't imagine that we can go unbeaten now to the end of the season, and it will be even freakier because I don't think did Carrick lose when he took us the first time round, that first interim? I don't think he lost then, did he?
No, he did. I don't think he hasn't lost yet. And I mean, there's a comment here from Marv, and I was aware of this as well, but I kind of brushed it under the carpet.
Yeah,
last time we played midweek, because that's 2 games in quick succession, right? We drew against West Ham. It just shows that playing 1 game a week is suiting us. It's flattering us. And we played West Ham, we drew. Maybe Alex is onto something. Marv is onto something here as well. Midweek's going to come. We've just played on the weekend. Are we going to run out of steam against Newcastle?
Yeah, I've been sort of maybe because I'm going to be doing a preview tomorrow for the Wednesday game. At the moment, I'm leaning towards a draw on this one, and some of it is to do with what is it Marv that just said that. We haven't done well midweek when it's quick succession afterwards. I think there's probably something in it that our training's less intense. Could be wrong. There could be something in it that he let them have some time off the other week. There could be something in it that the training's not as long, it's not as intense as it was under Amorim, where we might be winning off the level of intensity that Amorim left us with, and that's running out. I don't know.
That was the point I was making, right?
Yeah,
I made that point.
We have definitely, fair enough. That might
looks
be
that way
fading.
a little bit, doesn't it, Dan?
It does a little bit. It does a little bit. And I think because we're playing away and we're playing at Newcastle, I haven't had a chance to see what our record is at St James's Park in the last few years. I'm not sure what that is, but I think it's just one of those games where I can see Newcastle stepping their game up because it's us and it's at their place as well. So that's why I'm thinking, because of the run we're on, because of the high we're on, I think that's going to probably stop us from losing this game. But I also don't think that we're going to win it. So I personally would be going for a draw. I can't think of a score right now, but I'm thinking it's going to be one of those either a 1-1 or a 2-2 type game. The thing is, I didn't really watch them properly against Everton to sort of make a judgment of how bad they were against Everton. I think they're one of those where they can score goals, but they're not particularly great defensively, are they? So I think we're probably better than them defensively. So I'm not predicting a loss, but I'm predicting a struggle, especially with it being midweek. What are you thinking? I can't call it if I'm honest.
Marv just commented here, 88 games played at St James's Park. Newcastle have won 36. We have won 33. That's a crazy stat, really. I mean, yeah, it's pretty even. And we're not on the good side of that stat, but I guess expected. We're away. But you'd still kind of think we would have beaten Newcastle more often than not away. But obviously not.
I think Fergie days probably, but not since Fergie, I don't think, to be fair.
I think, again, I contradict myself all the time, don't I? I think we're due to smash someone.
I've been saying the same. I just don't know who.
I think we're due to smash someone, and I think that someone's going to be Newcastle.
Really?
This week, yeah, and it's
going to send him
at St James's Park. And look, I thought I didn't know she was here still, but Flossie's in the chat. Yeah, I honestly think we're due to smash someone. We're due to kind of have another performance that we were having, like against Man City, Arsenal. You know what I mean? That sort of attacking where everything's clicking. I think we're due to smash someone. Maybe it's not Newcastle. Maybe it is Villa. I think we win. I think it's 3 on the bounce. I think it's 3 on the bounce. And then this time next week, we're having a conversation about the haircut again, unfortunately.
I know.
I have no doubts it'll be a tough game. And yeah, Newcastle, again, as Marv just said there in those stats, they're not an easy team to play against. They've got some quality players, but I don't think they're great this year at all. They're not great this year
No,
at all. The
I
question
thought this
mark on
was
Eddie
the.
Howe. Like, would you
I
take
know.
Eddie Howe now? Would
No,
you take Eddie Howe now over Carrick? You know what I mean? The
but
question marks need
I
to be
would never have
asked.
taken Eddie Howe. I never rated him, so
Mm,
it's an easy answer for me. I've never rated him. But I just really quickly on what you're saying there. I think if I can remember rightly, when I was predicting and you mentioned about getting that 5 in a row or the 3 in a row and stuff like that, I thought that this game was like the big banana skin to that. But I said if we do get through this and we do win it, I think we do then get the 5 in a row, and then we can get rid of Frank then. But I think this is the big banana skin. I don't know how slippery it's going to be, whether it's going to be slip to loss or slip to draw, but I think this is the big banana skin. I can't shake that feeling at the minute.
Yeah, I mean, Twisted says, hey, Newcastle will be tougher. Villa should be a win. Last time Villa won at Old Trafford was 2021. Before that was 2009. Listen, I'm focusing game by game, but yeah, Villa's a huge game, right? But
Yeah.
I just think we're getting 3 in a row. I think Sesko starts. And you know what? He may give you that brace that you've been asking for.
I'm kind of feeling that you won't start Sesko. I don't know why.
I
don't
think
know.
that'd be a huge mistake. I think that would be a huge mistake to not start Sesko. When your striker is scoring goals like this and he's confident, and let's have it right, he's the only out-and-out striker we have in our team.
Yeah,
There
yes.
isn't another one. You've got to keep him in the team. You've
Yeah,
got
yeah,
to
yeah.
keep him
Yeah.
in the team. I'd be shocked if he doesn't start him. I mean, the counterpoint to that is Newcastle, I don't think will sit back,
Yeah,
right?
that's going to work in our favour. Yeah.
I think at home, Newcastle have the fans on their backs
Yeah,
to
it's on
play
them to
football.
attack us. Yeah,
It's
that's
on
where
them
we'll
to attack
thrive.
us.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
I think we'll thrive. And there may be a case to play in Bumo then, right? So I
Yes.
hear that, but this is why I think we're due to spank them, guys. I think Newcastle, coming off a loss to Everton, have to come and try and beat Manchester United. And I think this will be the first team since that Man City game, since that Arsenal game, that a team's going to come at us properly. And I think we're going to punish them. I think Bruno's got at least 2 assists in that game. Sesko's got at least 2 goals in that game. I'm going to say 3-1, 4-1 to Manchester United against Newcastle on a Wednesday.
I hope you're right.
Yeah.
I hope you're right.
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
That's positivity from you, definitely. Wow.
Yeah, look, the negativity I have is there's just a few players in the squad that I feel like need to fucking get the memo a little bit. We're doing fantastic. You know, we're in a great place. Don't cruise through this. Show your level. Show why you should be part of this. Show why you should be here next year. Show why we don't need to get another player in your position. And there's just too many of them that are not showing that for me. And it's just annoying me. It's just annoying me a little bit. And yeah, I do go off a bit too negative on it. Maybe I should be a little more patient. I just think, you know, we're 3rd in the league. We're winning games. Players like Sesko, Bruno, Cunha, and Bumo are saving us. Someone else step up, please.
Yes. Yeah.
Someone else step up, please, and, you know, whip the ball onto Sesko's head this week. Someone else step up, please, and maybe score a screamer from midfield. You know what I mean, Dan? And take the pressure off of these other players. And that's how you win games 3-0. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So that's where I'm kind of at with it. So I've predicted 3-1. I'll let you predict the score. I know you've said a draw, but we'll close it there.
I was toying between sort of 1-1, 2-2. I see where you're coming from in terms of, because what I was actually thinking, although I think it's a potential banana skin, this one, I was thinking in any case, or especially when you look at how we've been playing against in those last games, we thrive when a team comes at us. And if Newcastle have got most of the possession, that's going to be lovely for us, hitting them on the break, you name it. So I get where you're coming from. I can see why you're saying a win. But for now, I've got a feeling I'm going to stick with 2-2. I'll go with 2-2 for now.
Ooh, so you're still sticking to the draw despite what I've kind
Yeah.
of laid out to you.
Desmond 2-2. Going with it, Desmond.
Yeah, I hear you. I mean, again, I'm just really convinced, mate. I think they're awful. They've
Yeah,
not been
and
great
I hope
this
you're
year.
right. I really hope you're right.
And I think just their style of play, they'll come at us. And number two, they have to come at us. They have
Yes,
to.
that's true. That is true.
You know, they have to. And I think Bruno's just going to thrive on that. And like I said, I've kind of had a bit of a call to it here. We just need some of the other players in our team to step up a little bit. Because let's have it right. And some people have said it in the chat, and I haven't clicked on it. It's really tough. Usually, guys, I click on every comment and put it on the screen. It's just really tough on the phone. But someone said in the chat, I can't remember who it was, that, teams are going to start figuring it out. Teams are going to start figuring out Cunha, figuring out Mbumo, figuring out Bruno, figuring out SESKO, right? And I get that. That's a lot of players to figure out, by the way.
Yeah.
So
True.
it's very difficult. It's very difficult to figure that out. But my crying call is that another player steps up midweek.
Yeah.
When Newcastle are focusing on these players, trying to sort these players out, another player steps up and makes it happen. Do you know what I mean? There's a few
That's why,
predictions in the chat.
strangely, I'd have been more confident with Dorgu, and I never thought I would have said that because it gives us something extra on that left-hand side.
Twisted has gone 3-2, so tight game. I mean, that can't be. That's not far wrong. That's a good prediction. I mean, to score 3 goals again would be crazy.
Yeah.
Let me see if we got another. Rob's gone 1-1, so he agrees with you in regards to the draw. Let me see if we got any more in here. No, I don't think we do. Guys, it's been a fantastic show. Sorry again, it's not the usual full screen in the car. I've had my finger on the screen most of the time. It was either miss the show altogether or do it in the car. I just could not be at home today. But weirdly enough, Dan, I think we've had the most viewers active on our show since we started.
You're in the car. It's all about the
today.
car. New surroundings, new environment.
Maybe it's the car. Look, we've got a few more predictions here. Le Mans going 2-0, Bruno and SESKO. Again,
Where's Mama Floss's? Where's Mama Floss's prediction?
Yeah,
that's what
exactly,
we need to see.
Flossie. If you're still here, give us your prediction. Willsy's going 2-2, so that's similar to you. On the draw, exactly, Twisted. The car in motion room. That means I've been kicked out. When you see me in the car, that means emotions have hit its absolute peak, and the wife said, "Get out, get out." And that's when maybe that's the best shows, when the emotions are high, right? Marv has got his prediction in, and he's gone 3-2 also. So our defense is not being trusted very much, is it, guys? Not very much at all.
No clean sheet. No clean sheet.
No clean sheet. Guys, it's been a great show. Again, the Emotion Room car edition. I think, Dan, next time I do the car edition, you got to go in yours, to be honest. We got to do the car only edition. That's what
we'll car share. We'll car share.
Exactly. Guys, it's been emotional in the Emotion Room. Thanks for being here. Thanks for all the comments. Sorry if I couldn't get all your comments up. And we'll be back again next week, Monday, same time, hopefully. Dan, thank you again. Guys, please go and subscribe to Dan. He's amazing, as you know, and he's a lot more balanced. And Defo supports... We both support Man United, right? But he's definitely more of a supporter than I am. He's very patient with the team, very patient with the players. I do need to take a leaf out of his book. But what can I say? I get ahead of myself. But yes, guys, catch you on the next one. Thank you so much. See you guys soon. Boom.
See you later, people.
See ya.